So in this video, we are going to answer the following question. How do you get everything you want? And more importantly, we're also going to look at, is it possible? Is it actually possible to get really everything you want? Or are there certain limitations that we have maybe never really spoken about? So in that context, I want to talk about that because I see that many people are still, throwing around and mixing up law of attraction and Neville's teachings. And I want to show you in this video what I see as the big difference to what Neville tried to communicate, what Neville's teachings, the law of assumption, is about, what the law of attraction is about, and which one I personally think, makes more sense if we look deeper, if you understand the mechanics of consciousness and shifting states, so that you can get your desired outcomes in your life. So let us look in this. This will be a very, very, very important video. So let us just dive in right now. This is, in a very simple breakdown, how I see the law of attraction, right? The law of attraction, as it is usually explained, would mean that we are this separate entity. We are our mind, our body, that is who we are. And we attract our desires, represented here with the star. We attract them to us so that they come and then they're in our life. And then we raise our vibration, and then the desire is attracted to us. Law of attraction. We attract things, right? That is how some people do teach it. I don't want to say everybody, does it like that and that everybody sees that law of attraction means that. But that is, at least, if I, in general, look around, what I see most people understand the law of attraction as is simply we attracting things to ourselves. Now, let's look at the difference to the law of assumption, because the law of assumption sees things in a way that this desire that we try to attract to us, by doing techniques or doing certain things that finally we can attract it. The law of assumption is more about that, wait a second, this desired state, that which we want to get, is actually already there. It's actually buried in the depths of our consciousness, in our awareness. It's already there, and we express it, right? We externalize it, we push it out. The world is yourself pushed out, like Neville said, but we will come to this later, okay? So that's the difference. One is attracting something to you. One is more understanding that life happens through you, that within you already have every potential state and you can occupy it, and then that's expressed through you. But I want to talk more about this, okay? So, first of all, can you get everything you desire? Right? Everything you desire, can you get it? The answer is actually yes. I'm in the conviction that what you can desire, you can manifest because you can imagine it, so therefore it is possible. Of course, we would need to make, let's just say, nuances to that, because we might hold on to something which is something that we think we desire from our mind's perspective, but there's actually a state behind it which we desire. But because we stay so focused on the symbol, it might seem like we're not able to be able to manifest it. But in actuality, whatever state you desire, right, you can manifest, yes. But will everybody get what they desire? No. Will every person on this world, because everybody here and there at certain stages of their life has a desire, will everybody on the world manifest what they desire? No. But the reason for that is not because they would not be able to do it. They don't have the power to do so, because they don't claim that desire. Because, let me explain that. Desire, right? Desiring is a existing, currently unoccupied state within you, right? So this desire in the law of attraction space would be something on the outside that you attract to you, but it is, out there. In the law of assumption teachings, it's more about that this state is already in you. You can now close your eyes and conjure up that mood, that state of the wish fulfilled. Imagine it. Where is imagination taking place? If you imagine someone congratulating you and now having achieved their goal, or you're now imagining being with your goal, having it achieved already, where is that taking place? That is taking place in you. So your desire is already in you. It is a hidden identity that you, so to speak, scratch free. And once internally occupied, once within you positioned yourself in the wish fulfilled state, it is then expressed through you. Life is not, in a sense, happening to you. Life happens through you. But again, desiring is not enough. We have to claim the end state within ourselves. So that's why not everybody will get what they desire, because if we don't claim it, if we don't decide it, if we don't shift, if we don't acknowledge that our desires are within you and that they're done and that we are whole and that every fulfilled state or every state is within our awareness, if we seemingly keep it separate from us and keep dwelling in the lack, well, that desire won't be reflected back on the outside. Right? So how can we claim something that we currently can't see in our world? How can we claim something to be true for us? How can we claim our desired state, although our world currently shows us the opposite? No hints, no indication that we're even close, that we even have any signs of it going in that direction. How can we appropriate that end state now? Through our imagination, because our imagination is not bound to the senses. But our senses can, of course, only see what our senses can see. Our mind, our rational mind, is tied to the senses. It can only see what is there right now, and it knows only so much based on our past experience. But our imagination, our awareness is free of that. It is, so to speak, a step behind, or let's just say a step above the mind, right? It is not bound to the senses. You can now close your eyes and imagine that you are somewhere where you're physically not, that you hear something that your senses are not hearing, or that you experience something that your rational mind is not experiencing in the sense world, right? And by re-experiencing that act, by dwelling persistently, continuously in that unseen state, for which your senses have no reason to believe it, right? Your world would say that's false. It's like a false assumption, so to speak. But within, you can persist in that unseen state to make it real for you. And a new idea, a new state takes repetition to become natural. Usually, if it's been like a state that you haven't occupied since a long time, and you're starting with all of that, then it can take a while. It can take repetition and coming back to the state, and coming back to the state, till that certainty, till that conviction, till that deep identification, that faith, that belief in that new state is built. Right? Then you have this inner conviction which nothing can shake. No opposite circumstance will be able to shake that inner conviction that you build by filling up your inner space with the mood and experience of the wish fulfilled. So the big difference to the law of attraction, or between the law of attraction and the law of assumption, is that with the law of assumption, it's about assuming it now, right? I am it now. In my imagination, I can be it now. In my awareness, my inner world, but I can be it now without needing proof for that. Whereas I personally see law of attraction more as I will be it, right? I'm trying to attract it, I will be it. I attract it, but it's not there yet. I attract my desire, I attract the manifestation, but it's not there yet, right? So I will be. But your true self, your true being is I am, is awareness, is consciousness. Another word for that is I am, right? So when we say I will be something, that means that I am not it yet, which means that the mirror of life will delay the mirror image. But only what you are now, claiming you are now, is what the mirror can start to reflect. And in my opinion, there is only one law of life. The name is irrelevant. People call it law of attraction, but again, within the law of attraction, there is sometimes this narrative that we attract things. Then there are other people who just call what they mean by the law of assumption teachings, they just call it the law of attraction. But I don't like that really, because I think law of assumption is a better word. Call it law of liberty, right? Call it the law of freedom. Call it the law of consciousness. And that for me is like the one main law of life. The name is pretty irrelevant that we give to that, but this law states that what we are on the inside first is what eventually we will be on the outside. Where we position ourselves in the inside first is where eventually we will also end up in our external circumstances, right? It's more than a law, actually, right? It's more something that, yeah, now I apply this. Tomorrow I don't want to apply this any longer. No, it's more like a law, what you can apply or not apply. It is your existence. It is always operating. Why? And that is why we need to go back here. It's because you always express things. You always externalize things. You always first move within and then you move on the outside. So that is why this, for me, doesn't really make sense. It's more like this illustration. right? So it is always operating. Life mirrors wherever you dwell within in a delayed way. Life mirrors in a delayed way where you have dwelt first on the inside, in consciousness. And then life is a mirror of that state of consciousness. Let me conclude that video with this slide and those quotes from Neville Goddard. But you do not need to work out anything. You do not need to try to attract things and seek things and try to become things and try to suffer, in a sense, if you adopt that paradigm. Because the works are finished, right? The works, what is meant by the works? Well, creation is finished. Everything that could ever have been created, will ever have be created, whatever, like everything is already right now, right here now in existence. The principle by which all things are made, I just see that my cam is not fully clear, but okay, let's just keep it like that. The principle by which all things are made, and without which there is not anything made that is made, is eternal. You are that principle. Because you are that awareness that shifts in a new state, that identifies with something new, right? Your awareness of being is the everlasting law. You are the law of assumption. We as awareness, we assume something, we shift our awareness to a new state, we imagine us into a new state, identify with that within, and then that currently denied and seemingly false assumption, but it starts to become true on the inside, will then be reflected, will then be externalized. Right? You've never expressed anything that you are not aware of being, and you never will. Assume the consciousness of that which you desire to express, or become conscious of it. Assume that mood of being, that state, experience it on the inside. Claim it until it becomes natural. Feel it and live within that feeling until you make it your nature, until you are it, until you have transcended longing, desiring, seeking, hoping, into being, having, knowing, faith, right? By within shifting. And that's it. So, can you get everything you desire? Yes, because something that you desire exists already inside of your awareness as an unoccupied state, right? Will everyone manifest what they desire? No, because not everyone is then also claiming that state to be true, aligning with it, shifting in it, doing the inner movement basically, right? But if you do it, you can express and manifest what you right now do desire. And you now see the difference that I perceive between law of attraction to law of assumption. If you want to apply the law of assumption, if you want to apply those principles and Neville's teachings, and you have a desire that you right now want to see in the flesh, in the outside world, that you internally want to align to so that you can manifest it, I invite you to join our program today. That's the second link in the video description. Just click on it. You will see a page where you can learn everything about my program. There's an explanation video. Just watch that when you have some time and then see if that resonates with you. And if it does, join us, test it out. You can leave at any point again if you feel like, okay, I don't really get any value from it, but I highly doubt that, because the value that we have inside there, the community, the movement we're building, the support that's there, the online program that is inside in the classroom tab of this community, hundreds of people have gone through that and they have applied it and they've manifested things. So I look forward to see you inside, and I speak to you in the next one. Bye, guys.